and welcome to Tarmac. I'm Dave.
I'm Matthew, and this has been a long time in the works. Not this video, but the car behind us, because it's the new Nissan X-Trail.
That's right, it's the 4th generation X-Trail that's bigger, smarter, and actually far more attractive than it's ever been. Come, let's take a look at this. Now, Nissan declare this as being the world's best-selling SUV, and when it comes to New Zealand, they've sold actually 21,000 of these models since 2001. So I guess there is a correlation there. It may not just be them bragging like us saying we're the best video for motoring reviews in the world, but you know, we'll leave that up to you. But this is now 4th generation. They really have made a vast improvement to it. So it is basically, it's now taller by around about 10-15 millimeters. It's wider by around about 20 millimeters, and it's also slightly shorter by about 10 millimeters. So I can actually obviously appeal with the shorter side of things, but makes it a better drive, but we'll get to that in a moment. Looking around the front here, the headlights are now LEDs, as are the DRLs. I'll see if I can show you them later. The grille here is, or the V-Motion grille, is basically evolved, so now it's got a much more, I think it's more of a smiley face. It's got the new Nissan badge, so now got the whiter background from there, and nice chrome skid plate. So the chrome of the V here and the chrome of the skid plate. Now our review model comes in, praise the Lord, basic Caspian blue. So it's actually a color that makes sense. Caspian Sea, Caspian color blue, love it. The wheels are 19-inch and really machine finished, look really nice from there, and some more protection around them, around the wheel arches, which is good. These mirrors, they tilt when you decide to reverse, so that's pretty good, because this is the TiL model, so this is the variant we've got here. By having this black strip here and also this chrome strip across here, makes the roof what they call floating. So it is slightly separated from the norm. And I think it's more acute when you look in some of the different color schemes. So if the roof was black and the rest of the body color was a different color, you'd see it was more of a floaty roof. And also there's a tilt and slide sunroof behind there as well, which Matthew will probably show you because he likes showing off all these sunroofy things and showing how much. Anyway, moving on. There's a nice chrome strip along the sill here, which is, you know, again makes the sort of sill stand out and makes the design that much more prevalent, and it sort of seems a little bit more sort of masculine when you look at the design. So a little bit more shapely, a little bit more oomph to it, and also plenty of privacy glass, so it's blackened out so you can get onto whatever you want to do inside there and no one can see. Let's look around the rear. More design work's gone on back here, so you've got a nice roofline spoiler with this stoplight. The tail lights, as you can see, are LED and quite welcoming. They do a lot of stuff when you come near them. Well, basically they come on when you come near them. More Nissan badge, the X-Trail spout out here, and also another nice chrome sort of skid plate down the back here. Also, it's got, with this model, you've got access or remote access, so kicker access, so you just come close and kick under and open it does. A thing to point out is if you stand too close, you end up doing the hokey cokey and it just doesn't open. So one step back, top tip, then you can get in. And that opens up to 570 litres of boot space, which is actually quite funky in the way the design goes. So let's take a closer look here. Once you remove the parcel shelf, so get rid of that, you've got a functioning, multi-layered boot here. So if you want to just have stuff that just goes into the boot here, and there is an Apple test, I'm sure you guys are aware of it, where if you've got an Apple, it will roll out here. But these little panels come out, so give you another layer underneath, but they also slot down underneath here. So you can actually drop them down and make sure you don't leave them elsewhere. So then you've got the Apple test, none of your apples are going to fall out, so all pretty good. How'd you like them apples? Let's look under the bonnet. What we have here is a Nissan's 4-pot, but basically it's a 2.5 litre. What it gives you is 135 kilowatts of power and 244 newton meters of torque. In all honesty, it's strapped to a CVT and it's not the most, or it doesn't give you the feeling of immense power, but it's substantially enough and good enough for the family to take the family around. In terms of efficiency, it's 7.8 litres per 100 kilometres, and in terms of grams, it's around about 183 grams of CO2 per kilometre. So again, it's not massively or ticking all the boxes, but it's not bad. But if you really want to go for the really efficient stuff, you're going to go for their e-Power and E4 and all that sort of stuff, but hopefully we'll get our hands on one of those soon. Speaking of things that are underpowered, Matthew's inside and he'll show you what's going on in there.
Well, I'll have Dave know that I could probably take him in an arm wrestle with these things. But speaking of arms and elbows and all that stuff, just look at how much room I have in here. So the door on that side is almost more than an arm's length away from the driver. You've got plenty of room here for your elbows and, you know, your motions and stuff like that. By motions, I mean your movement, as opposed to the other definition. But either way, you know, the car will keep you really comfortable, arms, legs, whatever. The seats, they are quilted Napa leather and nice and soft, both decent bit of bolstering, both top and bottom. You've got, of course, those nice quilts there that give it a very premium feel. And make no mistake, this interior as a whole is a massive step up from the previous generation X-Trail. The front two seats here are heated, and then your two outer seats in the back are also heated as well. So Nissan have certainly thought of the driver and the passenger's comfort all around. The other key things with the interior here are the new use of materials. So firstly, you get soft stuff off the top there. You get a different sort of brown highlighted color at the top there, again soft. Few scratchy plastics down here, but that's to be expected. But again, the cabin quality is really good. Everything is sort of screwed in nice and tight. There's no creaks, no rattles. And they have given you a bit of faux wood there, as well as like a sort of metallic-y faux trim down the middle here. And it really helps alleviate that sense of luxury in this cabin. Moving on to the next part, the practicalities. This is a family SUV. And with that, you get a good sized glove box there. You get space for your phone there, a couple of cup holders there, space underneath here for your tea bags. Don't ask. And no, it doesn't have a kettle on board. But what it does have is plenty of USB sockets to power all your devices and things. You've got wireless charging there for your phone. You've got two USB chargers there, two in the back. And out of the four, you get two USB-Cs and two USB-As. So they really have covered all the possible charging and sort of electricity related needs you might have in here. Speaking of the electrics, well, that infotainment screen has got plenty going on. So let's take a look at that. The center console here, well, as you can see there, it's a mix of the touch as well as the traditional stuff. So you've got shortcut buttons there for your camera, your tracks, your volume and on and off system. You've got a really nice traditional look to the air conditioning controls, dual zone there and triple zone, with the rear getting different temperatures. You also get a steering wheel heater there, and then of course the buttons there for your seat heating. Going up to the touchscreen stuff, so what is a little bit niggly is that you do have to press OK every time to get that screen to disappear. But once you've done that, you are presented with this. So Nissan's all new infotainment screen there, and there's the traditional home view, which has got your maps and device and your audio input. And as you can see there on the right side, you've got all the different shortcuts, starting with home, which is where we are. You've got your navigation there, media, phone, and then the little cube thing there takes you to the various different apps and then settings and system stuff that you can go through. So there really is plenty to do here. The layout is all new, color system, everything. It's a massive step up from the previous tiny little infotainment screen they used to have. And just like this car as a whole, really amazing leap forward there. So the second screen in this new X-Trail is of course the digital instrument cluster. And over here I've got it in an analog sort of view with your rev counter, speed. And then in the middle there, that screen is customizable. So I've got it in the home view right now, which has the compass, really handy way if you need to find mecha ever. Below that, you've got your audio input, and if I flick through the screens there, you've got your average fuel economy, your torque split for the four-wheel drive system, your navigation, media input, and of course the positioning on the road and the various sensors. So there's a lot of information you can take in through the screen in front of you there. The other big thing about this screen here is it allows you to see the new 5 different drive modes that have been added to the X-Trail. So currently you can see down there on the left we're in off-road mode, but if I flick the dial in the center, you can choose between snow, automatic, eco, or sport. So there you go, there's a little diagram of the knob and the different modes, and then that indicator on the left side tells you which mode you're in. So some new added functionality there. And then if I take a step back, the steering wheel is new as well. Leather wrap, you've got your thumb grips there, a nice flat bottom, and then of course your controls there. The left side being your audio and screen controls, and your right side being the cruise control, as well as your phone. Now, Nissan say there's 3 screens in the interior of this X-Trail. So the first being that infotainment screen there, the second being that digital instrument cluster, and then the third they say is the head-up display. But I'd like to dispute that and actually put my vote in for that rear view mirror. Now, on the whole, it looks like a normal rear view mirror there, but if I flick this switch here, it actually transfers me over to a rear view reversing camera, which allows you to see all the dodgy goings on that happens behind you. And why I argue for it to be a screen is because look, it's got buttons underneath here, and if I press this left one, it actually takes me to a menu, and I can flick between different things, the indication, even the language for that matter, and can move the rear view mirror around as well as flick around that camera there. I'm not sure what the license is. Maybe it's got an inbuilt driver's license, but well, figure that out another time. Anyway, as you can see there, there's a lot of technology just in this rear view mirror here. And it's not just the technology or the styling that's been upgraded in this new X-Trail. The drive as well feels different to the old car. So let's go take it for a drive and show you exactly what's what.
I was obviously going to bring this up, but I actually went to the launch of the new X-Trail with the E4 and all that sort of stuff in Slovenia, and one of the best trips ever. Beautiful place, beautiful background, and beautiful car. And that was my introduction to the new X-Trail, and it really is so much more refined than ever. I've taken up pictures and stuff like that of the older versions, and the difference is remarkable. They really have grown up. I mean, obviously physically in size, but also just refinement. And the extras this new one has is so European and so, I don't know, just so modern.
And I mean, just like Dave, Nissan are not afraid of showing off with this new X-Trail. They've got, you know, plenty of chrome going on front, rear. They've got their new badge, you know, which is looks very prominent in its places. And then they've got the interior here with stuff like the quilted leather and that rear view mirror, which doubles up as a camera. Stuff that you normally see on, let's be honest, cars that are far more higher in terms of price than this X-Trail. But they're here.
Yeah, and you can see why it's been so popular. I mean, as an SUV, it's sold, I don't know, squillions. I don't know, look it up if you want to know what it is, but lots. And certainly you can see them all over the place in New Zealand, which is great. And I think you're going to see more of these. In terms of general drivability, looking around, visibility is great, really big windscreen, having the sunroof is great, so I really do like the TiL option. Looking even back, there's plenty of room back there, and the fact is you don't actually have to see back there. You can see through this camera, which is so European, so awesome. And seating position, electric seats, really get very, very comfortable.
The other thing is, while we're talking about the back, firstly, the doors open 85 degrees, which is really, you know, a miracle for parents, especially, to put in their child seats and to get their children in and out, makes life much easier. But once you're in the back there, the space actually, the knee room, the leg room, and the headroom is, there's a heap of it back there. It is really comfortable in terms of places to be. And of course, both the passengers on either side get seat heating as well. So
I think actually they recline a little bit as well.
That's
so
right,
you've got
yeah.
that going on. And in terms of practicality, that boot, it's just so multi-tiered or tiered. It's so... I finally got it out, but it's just really good. You can just do different layers. I don't know how important that is, but it's, little things like that really please me. The power itself, look, it's all right. It for a family vehicle, it's fine. It's not massive, particularly because it feels like quite a big substantial vehicle. So I think it could do with more power. And the CVT, look, I'm not a big lover of CVTs. I mean, who is? But they are so practical and do work so well.
And I mean, Nissan have made it work with not only just this X-Trail, but the previous generations. They use it in the other cars as well. So, it's a tried and tested formula as far as that goes. So it's something that can give you a bit of peace of mind. Speaking of peace of mind, there is a quite good 10-speaker Bose audio system, which you can either use to play your rocking songs or something more calm for a drive like today.
That just goes with the extra part of refinement. I mean, they really have upped their game in all aspects. So you feel like you're in a quality vehicle, and you feel like you feel like you've really hit the top notch with it. And there's another top notch coming in, because that e-power and E-Force is just is next level again. So really good from there. Steering wise, nice weight to the steering wheel. Sport is obviously where you're going to get a little bit more of a thrill, but it's just the fact that it's so capable now. You've got downhill assist, so making sure you go there. You've got 5 different driving modes to make sure you can conquer many terrains. And I can attest to the fact of how good the sort of all-wheel drive system is. It's so good.
I thought for a moment Dave was going to show off about Slovenia once again, but...
Oh, did I tell you?
Okay, so the X-Trail carries a big nameplate, or rather big award, which is the best-selling SUV ever. And how does this latest generation stack up in terms of SUVs?
I think they've just enhanced it. It's not... It is massively different, and then again it isn't. They've just refined every aspect of it. The ride comfort's better. The technology are just so much better. I mean, this one's got adaptive cruise. It's just one button. It's really nice and shows what's going on. It's got pedestrian awareness. I was in the shopping mall earlier, and it sort of flashes up. It possibly beeps a little bit too much. I mean, at one point I was in a car park and it sort of flashed up something was there and it wasn't, and I think maybe it predicts ghosts or something like that. It's pretty good, but there's so much to do with the safety, and I think that's what you want in a family SUV. So I think it sits really well in the category and probably maintains its position really well.
I think so too, and I will add to that and say I think the TiL, which is the model we've gone here, is definitely the one to go for, because it's got all those bits that have made the X-Trail such a commercial success, but then it's got all those trappings of luxury as well that you normally see in something which is a luxury European brand. So it's well worth the money, I think.
So there you have it, the new Nissan, or 4th generation Nissan X-Trail TiL, all-wheel drive, whatever you want to call it as far as that goes. There is plenty going on. It really has upgraded in all aspects, including its size is bigger, certainly width-wise, so I don't have to get that close to Matthew. There's the reason to buy it there and then. And also more headroom and things like that. So much more technology, and really it is so easy to use. Really impressed with that. Downsides, very, very few. I'm actually hard pushed to say it. Probably just the powertrain. I think it could be upped a little bit. Maybe there's some turbo that you can have fitted and get it rechipped or anything like that, but it's plenty enough for the family and things like that.
I think just like the previous generation X-Trails, this will be another commercial success. So with that said, I think it's time to go have some tea.
Haha, knew you'd have that. See ya.